everyone. Welcome back. G-Man here with Graaff. Something like that.
Something like that.
Hey, this next one, conflict, this is your field.
Yes.
This is the thing you love doing.
Yeah. Well, I don't love doing
No.
conflict, but I like helping with it. Yeah.
You like helping people out of their conflict.
Yes, I do. I love it.
Do you think we're just destined to be in conflict for the rest of our lives?
Look, I think the fact that we're all different human beings and we come with our different values, our different experiences, we see things different ways, that we are probably destined to have challenges with others, always.
I did a bit of research when it comes to conflict, and there's a website out there, I think it's called the Conflict Resolution Network. And I had a look at the 7,000 steps to resolving conflict, from step A, which is to acknowledge, empathise, listen carefully, clarify. How are we supposed to remember all these steps? Because I think there's 7 steps to getting closer to resolving a situation. How are we supposed to remember all that when our brain is not like calm enough to be able to go, hey, here are the 7 steps?
Yeah, I think that you've basically highlighted one of the key issues around dealing with conflict is the importance of managing ourselves. So I think all those steps are important, like what you described, but in essence, we need to have the skills to work out how to manage our own emotions and the thoughts that mess with us.
Can I tell you, when a person tries to resolve a conflict with me, as soon as they say the words, something to the vein of, I'm sorry that you feel that way, I escalate from here to kind of like abusive, violent, and like I'm just in rage.
Oh, goodness, okay.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. All right. And
just those words.
Okay, tell me what those words do for you. Like, what is it about those words?
I think because somebody's learnt them, is they've looked up and said, you know, one of the ways is to say to a person, look, I'm really sorry that you feel that way.
Yes.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
And I know we just spoke about empathy, but are they really sorry that I feel that way? Because they wouldn't know, because they don't know me. And so by saying that, I think they're just throwing away a line, which is maybe they've got it as an Insta quote, put it up in their wall, and they wake up in the morning and say, hey, have empathy for everyone, and tell people that you're sorry that they feel that way. Or another one for me is that they say, look, you're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah, that does sound a bit patronising to me.
But both of them sound, one sounds condescending, the other one sounds patronising.
Yep.
So if you're the sort of person that says, well, here are some ways or strategies to deal with a person, that means there really isn't a strategy, because it's different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, well, can I just get back to what you just said about why those comments bother you? I think there's something about needing to feel that if someone is trying to engage with you and sort something out, that they're really genuine about it and they're not just sprouting stuff for the sake of it. I think that the lack of kind of real engagement with you around it bothers you, I think.
But why do I have to censor what this person is saying?
You don't have to. I mean, I think the issue with conflict is that you've got two people who come from different perspectives, and how do you bridge that gap? And usually what happens is you're both feeling different emotions and you feel challenged. And I mean, you know, we go into that kind of prehistoric brain thing as well, you know, the fight or flight thing where, you know, in past times, if you had the wild animal coming towards you, you'd hit it over the head with a club or you run away.
Aren't we sick of that story?
Yeah.
Like, are we just not sick of that story? Like, how do you fight, flight? You know, the lion's going to come attacking you.
Yeah. Fair enough. But what it does help us, I mean, I find that it helps a lot of people when I talk about that. And the reason why it helps is because, say, if we're having a big argument, immediately when you say yell at me, I feel threatened, and it connects us to that kind of instinctive thing where, you know, I want to smash you in the face, for instance.
Yeah.
And how we can get past that is to give ourselves, you know, the power of the pause, give ourselves 7 seconds, take a bit of time, and then think about how we're going to respond. So for me, one of the things with conflict is a lot of people, you know, they don't take that space between what happens and their response to think about, okay, you know, if perhaps it's not a great idea to scream and shout or storm off. What is it about this situation that is making me feel bad, and how can I settle that down so we can sort it out in a way that hopefully we can move forward?
Do you think a lot of people aren't really wanting to deal with conflict or resolve it, but they just want to get their agenda out? If you and I have an argument, and you're saying something to me, I can't wait for you to finish so that I can go through my agenda.
Yes, I think that's one of the things we have to manage for sure.
But I'm aware of that. See,
Yeah.
that's self-awareness for me.
That's right. That's
So
very
that,
good.
That
Well
emotional
done.
intelligence. Oh my God, I've got emotional
You're
intelligence.
amazing, Gerald.
Amazing. It says to me that I know that I've got this agenda going through my head. Hey, Gerald, you need to stop. You need to shut up. You need to listen to what this person's saying.
Yes.
So I can understand you better. It still doesn't stop me from then going, yeah, okay, I see where you're coming from, but now I'm going to throw you my agenda.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happening. For example, if I give you an example, I don't know what your stance is with this, but my stance on the equality of the pay gap. Apparently, there's a pay gap. So my stance on that is that that's fake news. There is no pay gap. But yet, if I have a discussion with a person who says, oh, Gerald, I don't know where you get that news from. There is definitely a pay gap between what women get paid and what men get paid.
Okay.
So then I would go, okay, and from the session before we talked about facts versus feelings, I would say, just give us your facts.
Okay.
Show me the empirical data.
Yeah. But see, what you're talking about there, I think, is debating. So you're debating issues.
But it's a conflict.
Yeah, well...
What's conflict? Describe to me then what conflict. Maybe I got this wrong.
No.
I thought it was a difference of
I think
opinions.
so. But I think when you're talking about, say, a debate over a particular issue, I mean, people can get emotional about that. But for me, the conflicts that I'm dealing with day to day, less so much about, you know, what's going on in the world, and more about, you know, well, you said something to me that really hurt my feelings, or a team can't work together, or, you know, there's a leader who doesn't even acknowledge anyone, doesn't talk to them, doesn't say hello.
All right, let's go down that track.
Yeah, all right, go on then.
All right, go down that track. A leader who doesn't listen to a person.
Yes.
Who is, let's just say, you're the leader and I'm the staff member.
Yes.
And I'm constantly trying to tell you better ways that we should be working together. But because you've been in the role for so long, you know better.
Yes.
So how do you deal with a person like me? Or am I supposed to deal with you? You're the leader.
It's challenging. Well, that's why you bring people in like me to help you.
Well, how would you do it?
Well, it's actually trying.
We've got 3 people watching.
Well, it's the first step is to really understand where people are coming from, because often what happens is that, say, if we're talking about that scenario, you have your ideas, I have mine, but we also have our interpretations of each other, which may or may not be wrong. So the first step is really to understand what our perspectives are.
See how hard that is?
Which bit?
The whole thing.
It is hard.
About trying to understand where our
Yes,
perspectives are.
it is hard.
I'm in the middle of having a rage conflict with you.
Yes.
And I'm supposed to take pause
Yes.
and work out where my perspectives are with you. That doesn't happen in real life.
Well, it does at times, and if I
Tell me where it happens.
I've tried.
Tell me where it happens.
Can I just say something about that before you keep challenging me? The thing is, when we're talking about conflict, we need to think about ourselves at our best and at our worst.
Again, that's too hard.
No, it's not. So at your best.
So now we're going to get flip chart paper out.
Well,
And we're going to
sometimes
write down a column.
I know,
We're going to
it's
get a column.
crazy.
Have you been to those sessions? You know, get a column down the side. Tell us about the good. Tell us about the bad. You're going to write it all out, and then no one sees that flip chart ever again.
Well, all right. So I'll talk on a personal level.
Thank you.
Okay. So for me, I know that at my best, you know, like, I mean, this is the stuff I do, communication, conflict resolution. I'm like pretty good. Okay. At my worst, if I have something happen to me where I feel really, you know, challenged, angry, emotional, I feel that there's injustice in the way someone has been to me, I know that I'm totally not at my best. And I remember one time where I was working with someone and I got this text message and it drove me crazy. So I was like, I'm going to write the best text message back in response, which said all these things that were really not a great thing to say. And at some point I went, okay, put the phone down, and I didn't answer that message for a day and a half because I knew that I needed that space. Now, I've done heaps of work around that for myself. So when I have to deal with conflict, one of the things that I do is when I feel like I just want to bite back, that I will take that time and I'll say, okay, no, you know, what do I really want from this? What's most important? And I'll also give the other person the benefit of the doubt. And I'll think, you know, they may not be meaning to come across in the way that they are, or they may not really be as bad as I think they are. And I try and kind of use the way I'm thinking to manage my own challenging emotions. And I've seen that really helped people with the work that I've done. So just small things even. So people, go away from a session saying, you know what, I'm going to just take a breath next time, because normally I launch into it. Next time I'm going to take a breath. Now, the power of the pause, that's really powerful for people. So for me, it's not about huge, transformation as we talk about, but just thinking about, okay, at my worst, when I am challenged by things, I just, perhaps, I shut down or I explode. And from now on, I'm going to consciously think about, I want to do it a little bit differently. And what's that thing that I can do? So one example that I give people is people who perhaps shut down and don't know what to say, and then they get lost for words. Like, I'll give them a sentence, which is something like, I'm not feeling comfortable about this conversation right now. I would like to talk to you, but I just need a bit of time. So that's just a little strategy, and then they think, oh, that's great. So it gives them a little bit more power and opportunity to take some space and then come back and have a conversation in a more appropriate way.
So you like to bring in the feeling bit again?
Well, yes, I probably
I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable.
Are you?
Well, that's your words.
Oh, I thought you were feeling uncomfortable.
No, that were her words, not my words.
I was feeling empathy for you.
You said that, but you said, I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable right now. I'd like to take a break and come back maybe in a day or so.
Or 10 minutes.
Or 10 minutes to gather my thoughts.
Yeah.
Right? I'm a leader.
It's a strategy.
I'm a leader, though.
Yeah.
Let's just say I'm a leader. I don't have time for your 10-minute feeling.
Well, you know what? I think most people have 10 minutes.
We're just going to sit here for 10 minutes.
Was that the power of the pause?
No, we're going to sit here for 10 minutes. Because I think conflict is such a tough tool, because it just seems like, again, with the transformational coaches, everyone wants to deal with conflict and work out their own conflict strategies. I have my own strategies. I have my own. It's never been, when somebody's in conflict with me, do I shut down? No. Do I yell at them? No. I just agree with them in principle.
Okay. Well, and that could be good or not so good, depending on the situation.
I don't know any situation that it's never worked for.
Yeah, okay.
Like, just to agree with the person.
Well, I'll say there's a really great Gerald strategy that I want to share with you today.
You could do that.
Yeah, I know.
You could, and people will argue with you,
Yeah.
and they go, well, that guy's an idiot. Right? They'll do that. They'll go, well, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And if you turn around and said, you know what, I think you're right. All of a sudden, the conflict breaks down. Like, if you backed me up, and you said, well, no, what he's saying it's got some validity to it.
Yes.
And that person would say, well, no, what would he know?
Yeah.
He's Gerald. Like, he wouldn't know anything.
Yes.
But if you then turned around and said, you know what, I've never thought of it your way, I think you're right.
Yeah.
They feel then validated
That's
and
right.
vindicated. So doesn't that then stop conflict?
But you know what? That is actually a strategy that I do talk about as well.
Well, I'd love to hear that.
So for example, someone comes and says, Gerald, oh, you're wearing that shirt. You always wear that shirt. And so rather than going, no, I don't. I've only worn that, 3 times.
Which is a defense
which is a
mechanism.
defense mechanism. You go, yeah, I know, I love this shirt.
Right.
So that's one strategy. So then that person who's criticising you has nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So you're just expressing a strategy.
We have to move on, but I do want to ask you one more thing.
Yes.
Adults
Yes.
can probably learn this strategy. What about kids? Kids are where the problem, I think, is right now with cyberbullying.
Yeah.
And I think the amount of texting that goes on, and then I don't know how to stop that.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is, rather than just delete that person, block them, put them off, never speak to them again at Facebook, or not hang around them at school, I'll engage with them, and I'll be vicious with them as well. How do we tell kids that, hey, you know what? It's not worth your life to engage with this negative person.
It's really hard. It's interesting how you say that's all very well with adults, but a lot of the work that I do, I see that adults feel potentially that they're good communicators, but they're not.
I'll grow up, adults.
And I've been thinking about this a lot, that really we need to get to the kids, and we need to teach them some of the basic skills around empathy and kindness and listening and acknowledgement, the things that they're not necessarily learning at home. And so we might be teaching them all this stuff around maths and English, etc. But what about their ability to communicate and feel that empathy, which I think is if children feel empathy, they're less likely to do those things. So I mean, I think there's a whole lot of work to do around that.
It's a whole lot of work.
And there's something I'm actually interested in doing, for sure.
Yeah, and kids are only a product of their parents.
Well, this is right. And again and again, I see how many people don't know how to do some of the basic things around expressing empathy and listening and communicating in a way that supports connection rather than creates disconnection.
Wow, this is so good. I want to take another quick break, and when we come back, I do want to talk to you about resilience then, and confidence, and how we can build that. We'll see you after the sponsors have their say. We still haven't got any sponsors.